As I mentioned at the beginning, I have the honor of serving as the Chief Executive Officer for the Boys and Girls Clubs of South Alabama. So the first lesson that we learned is that if we want to lead a movement, we have to anchor it in a concept that's simple and easy to understand. So here's the reason why the Boys and Girls Club works. 3 things. It's a physical location, it's a program that is engaging, and it is a relationship that is built with a trusted adult. So when I reference Maurice Horsey as the club director in Foley, he has a staff of professionals that work with him there. We have certified therapists teaching art. We have professionals that are teaching music. We have a retired school teacher that's there. And we also have folks with prior military experience that are all working there to create a safe and engaging environment for children. And what we know is that when we create that, we set the stage to be able to build a great future for that child. So with that in mind, I have an ask. I'm not going to pass around the offering plate today, right? But when folks often ask what they can do to help us in the Boys and Girls Club movement, I tell them it's 3 things: time, talent, and treasure. From a time perspective, I'm usually talking about interacting with the children. So if you have volunteer time and you can come and help Maurice and his staff interact with the children, that's $1 that I don't have to spend to hire another staff member, because all of you are doing it with your volunteer hours. Does that make sense to everybody? The second thing is talent. When I talk about talent, I'm not necessarily talking about the children. I'm now talking about the staff and the board. Because if someone, for example, is an expert in transportation management and can come help us understand how we can take our second largest expense item and decrease expenses there, that actually helps us out. If someone happens to be an expert in Excel and can help put together spreadsheets, then we don't have to go hire a consultant at $200 an hour to help us do that sort of thing. So time for the children, talent to support the staff and the board as well. And the last part is treasure. We are very fortunate here in South Alabama when we compare the relationship that we have with all of our public officials to the relationships that some of our peers have throughout the country, because our public officials are very generous and we have a very good public-private partnership when it comes to dollars. So when I'm asking the audience about treasure, it's not necessarily the $1 that you're pulling out of your pocket, although we'll take that as well, but really it's about understanding where those resources exist and making sure that we have the knowledge of the resource, and then we can leverage our internal team to reach out formally to collect that resource. Does that make sense to everybody? Time, talent, and treasure.